Yeah.
Personally, I'm not the biggest Phoenix fan though, and
well,
we're not going to see it.
thankfully, you're not going to see it, so you don't have to worry
We are
about
going to see the
that.
tail, and it's coming out from KC's side rather than FUT, so interesting here. I really like this KC composition, to be honest with you. I think that having the ability to have 2 drones on this map with the fade and the tail means that you're able to take a lot of the map that otherwise you wouldn't.
I also want to highlight the chamber because we have been talking time and time again about wanting to see the chamber. Is this the right composition and the right moment to put it?
Yeah, I really like it actually, because obviously they've been trying to get Yetege into positions where he's playing like the second duelist, but he's playing, I guess, a little bit more comfortable in a sentinel that is still like can be that pseudo duelist.
I mean, I didn't even notice it, but tail fade on both sides. I think this is a very strong approach. The chamber for me is he going to be able to avoid the amount of drones that KC has for him?
Yeah, those are all questions that are going to be answered in this final map of the series. The last chance for either of these rosters to compete here on this stage during kickoff here at VCT EMEA. We're going to be heading over to our casters, Mitch and Tom, who can also give us their great opinions on Chamber.
9 days of competition, and it all boils down to this. For one of these teams, kickoff is over. And hell, they might not have a chance at Clash. They might have to sit and watch all these other teams play out. Well, they get a nice break, a vacation. Who doesn't like a vacation? Competitors. These competitors. Nobody wants to be the first one kicked out of kickoff, but it has to be KC or FUT, and it all comes down to Pearl.
Yeah, it's a map where we've sort of been waiting to see both of these squads play in the past. Historically, I always enjoyed a Mr. Fall in Pearl, but he put himself on the tail in the past, and I'm looking forward to see what Crystalli has in it, because he's been very, very good today. And while seeing Yetege, he's sort of on a sentinel. They've gone pushing all the way up, though. A very quick rotation available for KC. The spam does damage, but eventually they have to dark out of there, and then back in they go. 11 with 1, needs more, finds more, 3 already, and then just looks to try and escape. Doesn't want to overheat, wants to join up with his team.
Wow.
And play the advantage.
Really nicely played by 11. A chance for KC. He may well be. KC's beating hard, but Yetege in that corner, snuck in just in time. Does he get curious? No, waiting his turn, but Aves swings in and turns him to mush. It's only Mr. Fall, and then he'll find the same fate awaits him. 11 with a 4K in the pistol has given KC the leg up.
Yeah, well, we spoke about in their last map when it was Breeze facing off against Liquid, the amount of 3v5s they were able to win. They've just added another to the tally, and a lot of it came down to this man right here at the back of the site. Able to move in early, took some early spam damage, and then from pretty much the rest of the round, he was just ripping heads. 1-0, an important pistol. And well, there you go. Last Pearl match was a 14-12 victory.
For both. Hey, that's beautiful. Both teams last playing Pearl against each other, stage 1 last year. Now, they get to bring it back. And it's up against the same squads they faced previously. As well, these orgs have a lot of history, but of course for KC, entirely different rosters throughout the years.
Don't miss me too much.
Well, last year's coaching staff certainly looking to level the field. That's an easy pickup onto Zeus to start it. All these pistols, classics across the board for FUT. They're not getting anything done, but it's kind of what you expect.
Oh, Sugetsu just running it down. An in-zone flawless for KC. The perfect start with a lot of weaponry to take through into the next round. Maybe even a chance for Dosia to add a rifle into the mix if he so chooses. No, he's bought a Bucky. We'll see if he sticks with that. But this has been the case for both squads, especially coming into the buys. Like, there's not been a whole lot of rifles. There's not been a whole lot of bonuses played in sort of like the 3-rifle, 2-pistol way so that you can do more in these sort of rounds. And yet there's always been moments where you felt like it was possible. We'll have to see if Dosia has any Mr. Fallen magic with a Bucky on this map. Instead, though, they've gone pushing up early for orb control.
I like this early aggression from Doji. You can see how annoying it is. A main completely under his control. Even just with a Bucky in his hands, and well, A team like FUT knows just how dangerous the Bucky can be on this map.
One suppressed.
Mr. Fallen certainly does. My arm still hurts from that play. We come into round 3, very, very slow approach from the attackers, but they are now grouping up as Shados has found out, and he's going to give up control over Art. His FUT slowly claimed that. Look at the shift from KC. Very much expecting the A hit, and with a gate crash towards B, they can make that little bit of a gamble. I'm not sure if FUT are going to commit, though. Look how far behind Yedege is. They might take this back if they spot how many players are here.
A lot of utility thrown out, but Zeus made it past. There is the Bucky. 4 more needed. And he didn't get it. Spams away, not doing as much damage as they'd hope, and the juggling rifles haven't worked out. It leaves just Sugetsu remaining.
Spike planted.
1 versus 3. Does at least have the range, but it's only going to be the 1. A decent amount of damage for KC, but for FUT, more important that they're onto the board, off of the races. This is where, well, we wait and see if they're going to be starting off the streak.
Is there something to follow up on the back of it? And I guess coming into this map, Tom, it's been so long since we've seen it from these teams.
Let's go!
And the way that the game has gone so far, I don't think anybody will be brave enough to pull out predictions. I certainly won't be foolish enough. So I guess it does just come down to compositions, and I suppose that's where the question sits. Are you liking what you're seeing from FUT? Do you like the chamber that's coming out?
Yeah, I have a feeling that both of these teams, I'd expect more on the defense. Like, I think we're going to have that aggressive chamber, lots of delay, lots of info getting for that defensive side to take map control. And I think the attack is all going to be about breaking through that. A lot of pressure put onto both Levin and Zeus. But also, once you get that defensive side operator, this map becomes a lot smaller. Favoring one, very difficult, but now at least early spat. Dosia has managed to dodge all of those bullets, or most of them at least.
While hindered. Yeah, they might have thought he was gone, but they certainly know now. Shados! He's tripled up, and one was a spray through the smoke. Go for another. A few shots through. Now he's waited with Doja, and while he gets his reward in the end, not quite the ace, but a round's a round, and a 4K for Shados speaks volumes. KC, 3-1. No chained rounds for FUT.
I think we're seeing it again with just the irritation that can be caused by that Teo utility on the defensive side, just slowing the initial push enough. Like, especially when you have that sort of solo duelist, you want to almost like explode in towards the site, but they're never really able to because one of them is then sectioned off. Of course, Shados being able to shut things down, but realistically, I am looking at Yedege here, because I know that as a lurker, we can see high impact from him, but with what is basically just firepower as your utility, I need you to be getting numbers up on the board.
Well, no timeout for FUT after going 3-1 down. Now they're on pistols. The next buy round, really where the line in the sand has to be drawn. Remember, we start this series out, you think about whose map pick it is, the future maps and all this, but now all of those questions, they don't seem to matter anymore. It's do or die. It's elimination time, and for FUT, every round that goes up in favor of KC, just another straw on that camel's back, and we don't know how far it can go. Don't know how much weight they can take, how much pressure they can stand tall under. For FUT, trailing by 4-1 seems inevitable, but they have got a lot of space towards the A side. There's not a massive stack up. With a headhunter and a sheriff, they can get some damage done. Already ground being taken, and Shados, does he stick around with Abez, or do they give it up? They're looking for the fight, and they're finding them with great success.
Yeah, a lot of damage done on the initial sprays. C's also slowing them further. It makes it so difficult to break through these A-side chokes, but when you've been running it over to B, you know there's going to be an operator homing in on you, so getting through that choke's going to be difficult. I think the main thing I want to see now is how they put pressure on some of that mid-control in the other direction. Like, do they take lane? Do they sort of make that B site a little bit more awkward? Because I feel like so far KC have been able to have minimum 2, but in most cases 3 players on A, because there just is no pressure on B-Long or that link position.
Yes, and this is one of the things we talked about for FUT on the attack side. The experience there in terms of those calls, you expect that to be where they find those gaps. Right now, no gaps being found. KC plugged it up like they've got too many planks in Sea of Thieves, and with another round lost here for FUT, they'll be almost forced into a pause. But for now, confident that they can find their way back in. We saw Mr. Fallen quick to dispense some words after the last full buy round loss. Nedeshe's made it across with the op. He doesn't know there's a player tucked in on the left, and here come the salvos. He's just about made it out of there alive.
I really like that, using the special delivery to destroy the trap. Just to keep the bait going. Keep the bait that there's potentially not someone close. Again, though, they're falling into the same trope. Back to the A site they go for the umpteenth time in a row. Nightfall sent through. I like the Cosmic Divide off the back of it, but the counter utility is already being thrown out. Drone to go in. Of course, spam's not possible unless they go on the other side, and there's been continuous utility put into place to make sure they can't make a move. This will be the first time we actually have to see a full-on retake out from KC.
They've got that flank protection from Baha miles away, but still when it starts to play, that flash doesn't quite land as intended. Zeus marked in the corner, gets one. Oh, he's managed to get the ult off. That's a disgrace for KC. It should have been a shutdown. That was their way back in. A trade at least, but so much time. Boy, they've got to run. They've got to sprint. And all through, and all of a sudden, Baha's alone. How has this happened? They're blocking it. The defuse still underway. KC, they fumbled, but they did not falter. A ridiculous round, and honestly, if there's not a timeout after that, we won't see one all game. What a chaotic round.
They used everything. Nightfall, Cosmic Divide to take the site, Convergence path to slow them down. Even throwing in the tail ult at the end, and they just kept past all of it. This final shot as well had to be lightning fast from Abez. I don't know how KC made that work. They were fighting against every ultimate that was possibly on offer for FUT. And even when they used all 4 of them, nothing.
I know it's a cliche, Tom, but it was a 4 versus 3 post plant. I genuinely blinked, and there were 3 things in the top right on the kill feed. It was a 1v4 in a split second. That's ridiculous. And they haven't called a timeout. FUT, they're happy to go. I get it on the first buy. You say, you know, I noticed the problems. Here's how we fix it. Let's move on. That last round, though, I almost want a timeout just to breathe. And now the drone didn't spot Doja. He's just walked right past it. And it's a low buy round for FUT, so it's whatever. But these little mistakes, they're going to add up. Surely a timeout after this one.
They're also just going to irritate. Like, these are things where you go like, well, I don't know how this has happened. Like, I don't know how I've died here. And that frustration is definitely going to start building, because the last round is the sort of round where you go, that's unlosable. Like, you can't use 2 ults to take the site and 2 ults in post and still lose. And still lose convincingly. Yes. 5.5 seconds and 3 players standing. Like, that's just not good enough. And KC almost have to be laughing. We'll see. Can there be some damage for Yenergy? Yes, there can. Sugetsu not expecting it in the corner, and this is a round they definitely shouldn't be winning. But now, with a tour de force, that one remaining ult, and 2 players up against. Look at the guns. It's an operator and a judge. That's chalk and cheese on the retake.
FUT have the advantage, but Yenergy stepping into the angle. Shot landed. And now, Doja alone, a pistol and a judge, a tour de force on the other side, and I don't know how FUT have gotten away with this round, but somehow it seems to be theirs, and that easy shot from Mr. Fallen confirms it. A thrifty for FUT at 5-2, and you give Yenergy an inch there, just that small gap that they left, he filled it in right away. Gorgeous shots.
Yeah, that's why you put Yenergy on chamber, like, because the raw skill is undeniable.
Nice.
Well, from an unlosable round to an unwinnable round, flip the script, other way around. Doesn't make sense. Not going to try and explain it. We're moving on. Still a buy up for KC. J now has that operator in hand once again. The problem is, again, you kind of sit there and go, is that just a flash in the pan? I think, I'm assuming Levin thought that was going to be shot for him.
I would guess so, yeah.
All right, there's a Prowler coming, and it's gone, and it's gone, and I guess I'm gone.
Look at this playthrough art. Zeus has already put so much pressure on Aves. He can't get out. He can't get away. They managed to make that little crunch and now change direction towards the B site. Gate crash is in position. Levin can rotate very easily. There will be 3 players on B as those steps are heard. Here comes Levin any second now. And he's now here. Lockdown in play, buys more time. 15 seconds on the clock. Doja in the corner, landing a double, and another to the tally. He's in a different dimension, and yet still, he's not dropped. Finally put in his place, but buried alongside him is Yedajay. And with Baha 1v3, Spike down in the open. Only 2 players on the site.
Got a 1v1,
yeah,
if he checks it.
Can pull these angles into individual fights at least. And he has been very reliable, but it's not to be this time. Course correction from KC, right back to winning ways.
Yeah, Dosia just, again, dancing within the madness. Aves, again, that's got to be an annoying one. Just being caught. And nobody checking that backline. I guess, again, you see the ult go down, you go, oh, retake setup. Okay, they're all outside the site. They've got 4 players. Maybe they gambled the other way. And yeah, oh, Dosia waving at them, probably questioning how nobody checked that back angle. 6-2. It's finally time for a pause. I feel like it's been coming, but that Yedajay sort of like huge round from him, maybe, well, put a pause on the pause. Guy still looks chill though.
Well, yeah, I think coming out of the round win, hitting a little pause would be a little crazy. But now definitely time to get back to the drawing board because this has been 2 rounds of madness for them, whereas their opponents, I think, can be a little more confident that they're going to hit those reliable wins on the board, keep that lead building, and faltering at the final hurdle like this for FUT after the bounce back on Split. Really, really solid showing from them, from the rookies as well. This is no time to take your foot off the gas.
The funny thing is, obviously, the meta has sort of shifted so that you're running more double controller, a lot less sentinel play. And don't get me wrong, like, I think Sugetsu's still been putting up numbers on the controller. The thing that is upsetting, and it's similar to a couple of players, like I think we saw Benji have some decent performances as well. You put them back on Senti, and Sugetsu's just like, breath of fresh air, 10 of 4, top of the server. He's just been having a great time, and I don't know. It is sort of the meta versus comfort, but I wonder if they might look to put him on a little bit more Senti.
I mean, each team's obviously going to have their optimal play. FUT, they're geared up to challenge Sugetsu, and after salvo, a lot of bodies coming around that corner. Only good for the one.
There.
And trades in a round like this where FUT come in with so many weaknesses, especially because they can potentially recover the weapon. Trades are all that you want on this attack side, at least in those initial fights. Now, they're a thorn in the side. All of this mid control, down towards water, even their own spawn. Like, take a look at this position that has to be watched. Shadows has to come back to clear this so they can't come in through the spawn. Basically, anywhere that they go now is a 1vx fight.
Yeah, 11 as well. I wonder how much time he's got left on his TP. The answer, it is gone. Yeah, he has to go somewhere. The angle he was in was only good if you have the gate crash. He has to reposition, and that's a decent reposition, but he's then caught. That's an operator down on the ground. The cross being held by Shados, and he's not able to connect the shot. Push coming in as well on the other side. Zeus, I'm not sure how much of a fake that was being sold. He just tried to catch rotators, and now, well, Crystalli, the only man standing, and Shados will get the job done in the end. 7-2, half guaranteed. As I said, I expected stronger defensive halves, but I do think this is getting a little bit too far.
Well, yeah, I mean, if it continues in this way, the gap's going to be a little bit too big for most teams to even think about coming back into. And the reality is for KC, you know, they're not showing any signs of slowing down. There's smiles in the coaching booth.
Hey!
I don't know what he said, but neither do they. But Doja's definitely getting confident. KC are in general. Contrast that face that Ang's making to the one earlier on, albeit it might have been his ears being blasted by sound, but the vibe looking great down in that coaching booth for KC. Levin, gate crash, not even halfway gone. He'll stick around here for quite a while, and I think FUT are going to give him a challenge, but he has to get out.
Oh, it was close, and actually Shados bites a bullet for it. Diving over the top. It's a good start from Zeus. Desperately in need of attack side rounds. Oh, Yetege, other than that singular round, I haven't really seen much impact from this chamber. Playing the other side of the map, looking for space, but I feel like he's been isolated. I like the idea from FUT though. Like, you get that early fight, then you just sit patiently. Wait for your opponents to go hunting for information, wait for them to use all of that utility. Timing here, not the best, but because he stayed in the corner, that could actually create more of a problem for Levin. Does he now go back in the other direction? Now, does he have the expectation? No, he's caught out Baha. He's leveled things up once again. And in fact, the attack side with 30 seconds left, they're going to try and move the other way, but there are still 2 defenders here.
That's the thing. After you find the first, how many more will you expect? Cosmic Divide goes in, but Doja's out, and now they have no idea. But Sagetsu, he strikes a little too early. They know that he's here, and Mr. Fallen cleanly connects. The headshot puts them ahead by 2, and with a plant in, Yetege didn't need to swing. Now, perhaps a chance. Everybody in individual fights, but they'll look to swing together as they do. Levin finds another, but he's all alone. Oh, it's getting dicey. It's getting close, and he'll find himself a rifle. 14 shots still in the mag as he wraps around, but they're set up to swing this together, and he has no chance when they do.
From KC wasn't a bad one. Like, they didn't fall for the bait. I think it was just the not waiting for the divide to be fully up and not realizing how many players were here. And then also Sugetsu just unable to find the trade. It gave him nowhere to go. Like, he had to just stay and fight. And when it came to the important kills of the round, FUT found them. And this is enough to, well, just look at the economy. Look at the money that's on the board for KC in this round. There's going to be pieces missing. They're likely going to be fighting for the next one, but well, we've already seen a fair amount of individual brilliance. I wouldn't say this is a guaranteed round for FUT.
Oh, anything but. When it comes down to numbers, take a look over this side of the map. Just how many people are here. You've got 4.
2.5.
I only see 3. Yeah. 2.5 at best. That's because Shados has used the Haunt already, so he's only half and a Prowler, so half his belt left.
Oh, yeah. No, it definitely wasn't because of the circle.
No, need a bigger circle, man. I knew I should have done the click to drag to stretch, but for next time.
No! Oh, that is cursed. He looks away from the angle for half a second. And that leaves the A site wide open for business. Singular rifle left, a pistol for Sugetsu. Gotta be a little bit careful facing up against this man with the sheriff in hand. And actually, okay. Verge's path used. Clearly feeling there was a need to try and deny this retake, and denied it has been.
Yeah, it's not like they have a huge ultimate online for the next round, but they nearly do. I mean, in terms of getting in, finding that space, Convergence Path is obviously going to confirm this round, get rid of any possibility of individuals taking over, and then coming into the next, we potentially have the Armageddon ready to roll for Crystalli.
Well, yeah, I guess the importance as well of an in-zone flawless, making sure that you have everything for the next round and your opponents don't get to get anything brought back home. And especially when you are, as I said, like you were down quite a few rounds, just confirming that that's not going to get any more dangerous. I think was the main reason for FUT throwing that in. 7-4. A 7-5 half, I think especially the position they were in, FUT can be very happy with that. The pistol round may even bring them back level, but Dimensional Drift, operator in hand for Levin. There was no one even close there to shoot that one, so I think he was just hoping that someone would face him on the timing, but not this time.
Well, his gate crash is being sent out. You can see it moving towards spawn, and it will be taken soon as FUT now put the pressure on towards this A site. Cosmic Divide's already gone through, and it's going to be an initial fight favoring FUT. Two big pickups. Are KC going to go through? They are! And Levin even wins the fight as Decoy, serving as a little bit of cover there. And although the plant comes in, and Armageddon is online, Crystalli very low as a fallback to main, picks up an op, but now the time's on their side. And KC need to be quick to bait this ultimate out. They need to get on that spike.
Mr. Farland on a long flank. They do have the turret, but it really just depends in what direction he goes. If he cuts back a little shorter, which is exactly what he's done, he's going to be able to get past already the utility, denying them a little bit longer, and now he strikes from behind. This is where they throw in the ultimate just to make sure that anybody on it is in trouble. It leaves just Sugetsu remaining. Wonderful post plant coming out from FUT, and from what looked like an impossible deficit, they end at 7-5.
They are really fighting for this tooth and nail with elimination on the line. Another 7-5 scoreline. 1 half left in this matchup. 1 half left in kickoff for one of these teams. We'll be kicking out a team after the break.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Well, it's almost the end of the road, but for who? And we're here to answer that question as the timer ticks away, Tom. KC leading by 2, now mount their attack side. The last time we saw Pearl play last year, stage 1, and it was these two teams, but the stakes this time a little bit higher.
Yeah, no, it's going to be one of those pistols that really could just turn this game. KC could get themselves further into the lead, extend away from their opponents, or FUT could begin to start things off. One of them is going to improve their percentage significantly as well versus the other, both on 40%, both 1-6, lost 9. Clearly a lot of parallels between these two teams, and I think that can be felt within the server as well. With one about to be eliminated last and the other going marching on in the lower bracket, it almost feels unfair with how close this has been.
Yeah, it very much does. But whoever wins this has 5 series, one of which is a BO5 in a row needed to make it to Santiago. To start out, Zeus dropped here in the pistol. A sneaky play by Levin gets another kill in favor of KC. But these pistols, they always seem to point in one direction, and then a big individual play turns it the other way. A start for Yenige. It could be the same old story, but they'll stop him in his tracks. And Crystalli, last man standing, a frenzy, not the gun for the job. Everyone relatively healthy, and well, they were stacked up and ready for that. A veritable firing squad awaiting him. Another round on the board for KC, leading 8-5. How far can they take it?
Yeah, that's exactly what they needed. That extra little boost to kick off their attack side. And it seems like maybe a play towards B, just based off the weaponry that they're purchasing. Going in for the Outlaw, going in for a Vandal, a Guardian. A lot of long-range weapons with pistols to back them up. Potential that they'll go facing into the one real danger in this round, which is, of course, Yetige. Only a few bullets left. Only a few bullets he could afford. He's going to be challenged early, and it's a dry peek out. Okay, Levin hands him the initial kill.
Headhunter being offered another pickup as well. Doja playing with fire, but he will back off. The problem here, look at the decision for FUT. Do they leave completely? I mean, just now the drone's gone through. Aves spots one. Still a mass exodus from the A site. FUT, they're gambling it. Even after seeing that utility towards A, many teams would rotate back, but now 4 players on this B side. They will match the numbers of KC, but can they match the firepower with classics and a single bullet left in the Headhunter?
Main worry, I was going to say, was that Teo utility. That's already completely gone. They had multiple salvos.
30 seconds.
And it seems like they're second guessing themselves.
30 seconds left.
They had things bang on, but after not seeing anything, they're immediately going to start rotating back. 1 player left within the site. It's a good luck to Mr. Fallen. Very likely his call to move away. He's just going to try and hold in the back line, something they desperately need to clear, maybe expecting a swing, and Aves has made sure that any more worry should be gone. A singular bullet left in the Headhunter, and I almost wonder if it's worth just going down to the spike. The only thing, and it's something that of course their opponents can't know, is that everybody is currently holding a rifle. I think that's how it might stay.
Well, they don't know where Zeus is, so maybe if he just waits, going down to the spike or making it costly on exits if they do come his way.
If anybody pushes that way, they've lost their mind.
Without a doubt. Yeah, long as the safe exit, and that is where KC are going. The right call made. Zeus will go down to the spike, and FUT will go down 9-5. A big resurgence needed, but that didn't stop them in the past. Thing is, we are now running out of time.
So Shados had a rifle.
He did, yes.
I was about to say, the really good thing for KC is that they kept, well, it was the rifles and, of course, the Outlaw in play. And so you didn't actually lose anything.
And they probably did, because I saw them all laughing and giggling on the stage. Seemed like good vibes, so...
Oh, instead of 0.5, you have 0.7. Good job, bro.
Well, the stat padding on the other side, has been called out. 9-5. Double digits is what KC is looking for, and if they find it here, it is pretty much the beginning of the end. FUT need to stop them here and now, and it has to be more than a speed bump. We need a full-on barricade, a blockade, as they keep pushing further and further into the lead. KC now set their sights on B. Nobody anywhere else on the map. Full dedication to it. And Yedishe's op's already been pushed back. The next wave of utility might take him out of this hold altogether. He's been revealed. He's dead, surely.
He didn't even start this round with shields, but he survived longer than expected. The utility dump leaving him with nothing. I feel like this is round over. There's no way that FUT can hope to break back in on a 3v5. This is going to be an opportunity for Dosia to go from just having a ghost at the beginning of this round to potentially having an operator.
Look at the utility here. Look at that. They used everything. There's nothing left. Of course, you don't know that, and you see a very direct play as well. You assume there's some little bits left in the back pocket, but that was a full dump coming out of KC. They knew at that point, like, okay, first bit of utility gets us down long, second bit gets us into sight, and there's nothing they can do but give it up and play retake. Well, FUT didn't do that. They stuck around. A perplexing choice, and I think usually Yedishe would already look to recall back, snap his fingers and get out of there, or reverse Dorothy, but the reality is he couldn't, because he already did. And the position he held was just, it was greedy, but it was kind of necessary. Get a pick, get out. But once that utility comes, that's get out time, and he missed his time. He missed his window.
Yeah, like that. Well, that was the thing. It was hit by. It was revealed, and then just hit by everything. Like there was no escape at that point. It was almost too easy. It looked like Cristalli was almost trying to give him a helping hand, but there was no survival. A lovely execution from KC, and that's what we talked about. Like this team, in terms of their initial plans and hits, has been great. It's the late round, but they didn't need a late round.
Exactly.
They'd already won the round.
If you lose the late round calls versus a save, then we have a major problem. Luckily, that's not the case here. And yet for KC, double digits on the board. Weakness is there for FUT, but they do save over those 3 weapons. They do put themselves in a position to buy back up and to fight for it here. But this is, again, that line in the sand. A loss in this round might as well be a loss in the series. You might as well pack your bags for a big old break before stage 1. Baha, he's got the angle. He spotted 11, but he wasn't ready to shoot. I like it though, playing passive. popping the smoke and calling for backup. Look how spread out KC are, though. They've got a net spread across this, and the only real danger is that Yetege could walk up right behind them.
Yeah, it does leave a bit of a gap in mid. Obviously, you've got the trap there, but if it was broken, it would put Yetege in a pretty awkward position, but there hasn't been any pressure on that side. Already, though, that's a huge pick.
What?
Mr. Farley just taken out. This Levin operator that they definitely knew was there has managed to find an opening. Nice shot from Baha. Needs a little bit more, and he does. A second kill, and Sugetsu desperately low. Post-bar unavailable, and a late lurk coming in from Dosia. But an even later lurk coming in on the other side, and they don't even get the plant down. Zeus has done well.
Yeah, it was a nice hinder thrown in alongside the salvo. Pushes a player into the open or forces their hand for an early death. That spike, 14 seconds, needs to be planted, and Yetege's got the round in his hands. Nicely done by the chamber. As we said, the only real danger in this round was that Yetege could just walk right up behind him. And eventually, that comes through, playing with the time a bit much. I feel bad for him there. Yeah, I didn't understand how he died. Looking at it from his perspective and seeing it a second time, I still don't. That's unlucky. Shoulders a bit too wide.
Oh, they're back on the board. Love that for him. And he's got his operator back. Well, the one he bought in the first round has a second one in his back pocket as well. But yeah, Yetege having a good half is going to be integral. Just look at the setup they're currently going for. 3 A main early, 1 player mid, Yetege B. If they can kill this guy off as they did in that initial bonus round, and this hold is going to become impossible. An immediate rotation. Crystalia is going to spot out Dosia, but that tells a different story than they're pushing this way. It tells them that they're likely not.
Yeah, but look at the play towards A main. Zeus about to round that corner. There's 2 players there as the smoke fades. Levin's good for 1, but has no notion that there could be a player creeping around behind him, but he's gotten out! Zeus waited too long to strike, and now the play is coming in towards B, but that op is still there. And Yetege is just biding his time.
He's in a good position. No escape from this spot, though. Dimensional drift becomes so important. This is only a classic, but playing aggressively with an operator. I don't know how. Again, he just seems to be surviving, hiding within, used as a distraction, and while the trades back and forth are enough for FUT. A second in a row. Some unorthodox gameplay from Yetege, but I got the job done.
Yeah. I think a little spooky there, seeing Shadows hit someone with a Prowler and then jump into a smoke that he saw the guy with the Prowler in with utility out. I wasn't sure what I was witnessing quite in that moment, but Yetege survived as a result. Ended up trading blows later on, and second round in a row.
Nice!
That we're going to see that late fight be resolved by a flank. It seems like a lot of space being given to FUT when those executes are coming through. FUT reading those timings and getting the flanks just when they need to. For KC, time to plug those holes. They've got 2 timeouts. This is their first to be used at 10-7. And Zeiss knows how close they are to starting that run. Again, after this, you need 4 BO3s and a BO5 without faltering against teams that are trickling down from that middle bracket. The competition getting harder and harder as it goes. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's Heretics who you play after this, which, sure, looking at current form, you could go close in this matchup and still be able to take down, but if they reach that same kind of form that they've been missing last year's form, then yeah, your run might be cut a bit short after this game.
It's realistically the teams that can drop down. You've got Mates and BBL at the very, very tip top still. One of them's immediately going to be making it through. Then you've got Na'Vi, Fnatic, Vitality, GX in the middle bracket. And then waiting in lower round 2, you've got Heretics and Liquid. So it doesn't really get easier from here, I'll be honest. Like, this is probably the easiest match either side are going to get.
Yeah, after Heretics, it will be either Vitality or GX you face. Yeah, that's either one of those. Seems like a pretty tough matchup. And then there's a few more afterwards.
Yeah, then maybe a Na'Vi, maybe a Fnatic. then maybe a Mates or a BB. Yeah,
Liquid.
it's rough. It's a long way back, all right? But that's what happens when you immediately lose 2 games.
Yeah, well, normally you go out of the tournament.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
You know, second least
lucky
alive.
to be here, but we'll
Very
see.
much so. Yeah, both
One of
squads
them's luck is about to run out. And although KC are in the lead, FUT have started to... Wow, they're looking for their 3rd life to maybe last just that little bit longer. For now, though, again, it's similar trait as the opposing side. I want to see a bit of pressure put into that link, like put in to that runway down to B, break the trap, make it more awkward, because that trap sits there pretty much the whole round, and it means they could just do this, leave 1 player on the other side of the map to hold half the map.
Reveal, gone through, hasn't landed just yet, or rather has landed, but it's going through. KC delay a moment, and that avoids the initial burst of utility now. They look to take that site with a clean plant out of Shados, avoiding all of the salvos coming the other way, all of the spams as well. And now Nightfall goes through, but Mr. Fallen runs in on the back of it, completely catching them off guard. FUT now with a man advantage. They set their eyes on that spike. Shots landing from main. And the late play from Doja with a star that's, well, not in the normal position, but it has still delayed. It's bought time. Doja can strike from the side, but he is being watched. He was being watched as the stun goes through. More time eating away from that clock. And a nice shot from Doja. They're set up for success. It should be the end of the round, the end of the play. It's not even half. Doja expertly playing this late round, and KC just a few steps away from this lower bracket run commencing.
Again, I had a superb initial execute. It made things so awkward for the players, forced all the way to the back of site. Mr. Fallen definitely threw a spanner in the works by just running at them while hit by the Nightfall. I don't, maybe he doesn't know they can still hear you, but it seemed like he didn't give a damn. But then Dosia, just the final piece of the puzzle, the late play, the final free throw. And that's going to put them 2 rounds away from sending FUT packing. It's definitely not been an easy road, but if they complete this match, they can at least start getting ready for the next one.
A monumental task ahead of the victor. With the disappointment that comes with defeat, with the end of kickoff. And FUT, they're not far away from that reality coming true in front of their eyes. Zeus emerges from the smoke as Doja waits, beckons him in. And soon to show FUT the door as KC 12 locked in now for FUT 2v5 that they stand practically no chance of even coming close to winning.
Teleport's ready.
They've made that realization. Tour de force, it's been wasted here.
Well, that's the thing. He might as well go for some damage. I guess it's just, what are you gaining?
Yeah.
Like, your opponents have enough credits to buy anyway, and maybe he doesn't want to give over an orb. Maybe give a Sugetsu a lockdown or a dimensional drift. I guess that's the argument, but...
Yeah. Dimensional drift on entry as well.
Well, I think that's been the scariest thing for... Okay, that was a choice.
He did then go and died 11. So
yeah, that was a choice.
I am now immensely perplexed by what I watched, but okay.
That was basically the worst of all.
Yes. Troy has been sent to get the pizza. I mean, that I could stand there another 5 minutes. I don't think I'd be able to put the pieces together of what neurons were firing at that moment. But
Unlucky.
Unlucky. You won the round, I guess, for the person that died.
Yeah,
but,
unlucky for them.
Not
12
that
and
unlucky.
7. And yeah, I'm not sure what went on there.
No,
Just
that
give
was
that
crazy.
over in the end. And we've already seen that when KC have an ult with their executions, they have been so hard to play against. Like, they have just had an extra little piece, like in that round. You see it. The Armageddon thrown to the back site, a stun put in the one place that would have been safe, and an easy opener, in fact, an easy double opener for Levin. Now he has his ultimate in play to just make this as awkward as possible for Yedeje. They already know exactly where he is. Counter Nightfall thrown out by FUT to try and slow this push as much as possible, but there is Levin with the backstab. Yedeje dead, punished for his own mistakes in the previous round. And now 3 stand to try and keep FUT alive.
Oh,
2 stand to keep FUT alive.
These retakes haven't looked good, but when it comes to a spam like that from Aves, well, I think you'd have more success shoveling snow with a fork for FUT. A dive in from the top rope. Baz bringing the pain, but the hinder doesn't land in time. Aves, 3 kills, seems to lock this one in. Casey's lower bracket run starts here as we wave goodbye to FUT. Kickoff ends for them today.